Okay, good morning. Hello, seventh graders. It's been a while since I made you a video, so nice to be here. We might as well start with this. What is your mood? This morning, for me, making this video, it's a Friday, but I'm a little tired, so I'm going to go overall 7. I'm feeling pretty good. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to do today. So we are starting the new topic 7, human impact. So we just finished watching the Lorax, right? So how do you think the Lorax may relate to the topic we're starting? Well, we've discussed it in class, and hopefully you know. Obviously, in that movie, there was a lot of human impact, okay, on the environment. So this video we are going to watch in class, but I am going to skip this here and go to the content. Okay, and we are going to practice with a Bluekit in class. Don't worry, you won't miss out. Okay, and if you have not yet tried Bluekit, seriously, what are you waiting for? It is the best thing. So let me just show you real quick. Going to Bluekit. So fun. You can play on your own solo, and you can also host. Super fun. Great way to review. Better than any other review game that I have tried. Okay, so let's talk about the content. All right, so population growth and resource consumption. So human population growth is exponential. So that means it's increasing, but not just like a straight line like this, not even like a low incline. It's like this. Increasing more and more and more, okay? Growth of a species is limited by space and resources. So as the population increases, so does the need for resources, including space, all right? So as the population continues to grow exponentially, we may be running out of space and resources. So balancing the need for resources and population growth, we can help that through conservation and sustainability. Okay, so conserving resources whenever we can to lessen our negative impact on this planet. All right, now there are a lot of types of pollution. So this one that we're going to look at is air pollution. So it's contamination of the air. So pollution as a general term is contamination of the earth. So it could be land, it could be water, it could be air. And the pollution could be liquids, it could be chemicals, it could be heat, light, noise. Noise is considered pollution. For pollution, we have 2 main kind of categories that we put it in. It's point and non-point. So point is like, literally I can point at you. You are the problem. So point source is when the specific source of the pollution can be identified. So for example, a factory dumping waste into the river, you can point and be like, you factory, you are the problem. It could be a person littering. You are the problem. You are the point source. Okay. A sewage pipe drains into a river, point at this, you sewage pipe, you are the problem. You are creating the pollution. And then there's non-point source. So it could be widespread and can't be linked to a specific origin. So there might be polluted air above you, and it's really difficult to determine, did it come from this factory? Did it come from a forest fire? Did it come from, what is it coming from? So non-point is like, I don't know who's to blame, but it's still there, okay? And then when we're talking specifically about air pollution, we can have acid rain. So acid rain is precipitation that's more acidic. The danger of acid rain is it can destroy crops. It can destroy buildings, statues. It can cause damage to trees, any kind of plants, right? And then there's indoor air pollution, so things that are happening inside your house. So allergens, although that may also be affecting you outside. So if you have a lot of allergies and you're a runner and you go outside to run, you may have difficulty breathing on a day when the allergen or pollen content is really high. Also radon and carbon monoxide, those are invisible gases that most people have a detector in their home to alert them if the levels are high. So what's the difference between a point and a non-point source of pollution? Do you remember? Remember point you. You are the problem. You, I can specifically say you. This factory, it's you. You are polluting. Non-point, there's pollution, but I don't know where it's coming from. Okay, so now we'll talk about land. All right, so we did general pollution and we talked about air, but what about land? So we'll talk about the soil. So soil has litter that's kind of, decaying material. Then we have topsoil, we have subsoil, and then we have bedrock. Okay, and pollution could affect any or all of those layers depending on how deep it gets underneath the soil. So land is definitely a resource. Why? We need it for agriculture. So we need it to grow crops. We need it to raise cattle. It's also used for mining and development. Okay, we can't build new homes if there's no land. Erosion is a process that moves particles of rocks and soil to a new place. Okay, it's how features like the Grand Canyon were created, slowly moving them out of the way. It's why the Niagara Falls, where we live, is back further than it was so long ago, is slowly eroding. Okay. Nutrient depletion. That means the decomposers, remember, their job is to recycle. Okay, but if we don't give them enough time to recycle, the soil gets depleted of nutrients and then it's unable to grow crops. Okay. Desertification, it's causing desert-like conditions in soil that was once nutrient-rich. So it's like from over-farming, okay, and not giving time for those nutrients to replenish. And then landfills, you can see this image right here, okay. Landfills, that's holes where waste and debris are placed, often covered, once full, and reclaimed as parks. So Tift Nature Preserve is an example. So landfills, once they are filled and covered, often that space is reclaimed as green space. Okay, so I guess that's a positive at the end of it. But you can see often at coastlines is another place where you can often see erosion, where the land is getting moved away, okay, because of, it could be wind. Often it is water, though. Speaking of water, here's some water pollution, okay? So freshwater pollution, remember, can be point or non-point. So it could be farming waste. It could be household pollutants. So people putting things down the drain that they shouldn't. It could be industrial waste or sediment. It can be heat. If a factory is releasing water that is heated, it can actually still damage the environment. You're like, whatever, it's just water, but it's hot. It can raise the temperature of the surrounding water source and can cause those living organisms there to be unable to survive. And then oil. Can be from oil spills, okay? Some people from cars, it could be runoff from oil that came out of a car. Okay. Saltwater pollution is naturally occurring from when there's freshwater runoff after heavy rain. So eventually the water gets back to the ocean. So if the fresh water is polluted, the ocean's going to be polluted. But also it can be directly polluted by human activities with chemicals, sewage, waste, pesticides, fertilizers, trash, plastic. Like the largest garbage dump in the world is in the ocean. Like, how distressing is that? It's terrible, okay? And oil spills also, huge impact on the ocean wildlife. So how do we reduce water pollution? We can protect the ocean by passing laws and regulations. We can clean up oil spills. We can improve our farming methods and maybe use less pesticides and less fertilizers and farm more sustainably, and also reducing pollutants. So let's use less of the bad stuff. So what are some ways to reduce water pollution? Do you remember? We just talked about them. Hopefully you do. All right, so that's it. So now in this assignment in class, you're going to continue with just a couple questions, and you're going to end with creating a sort of a tweet-like response to what we talked about. Okay, that's it. It was great to be here with you again.